should be either Terengganu or Melaka. But Terengganu, we will need to see how's the weather over there, because I heard that the flood over there was quite bad. Yeah, hi Sally. Sally from Iklam in Johor. Precision machining. Okay. Respect. Evelyn from Respect. Manufacturing of plastic packaging and face mask. We have you over here who is also on the plastic bottle. Well, maybe similar industry. We have William from Texting Industrial. Okay. Yeah, let's wait another 1 more minute and we will start. Paul from co-funder, they do P2P financing. Let me look at the time. Okay, the time is already 3:30 and we will start in 30 seconds. Oh, thank you, MY Chong, welcoming us to Taiping. We will certainly contact you, see whether we will visit Taiping or not, the Spritzer or not. I have a friend in Spritzer as well. Okay, let's start right now. Good morning, good afternoon right now. Okay, good afternoon to all participants. Welcome to the third series of the Smart Forward Web Forum. Today's discussion, we will be focusing on smart manufacturing best practices. Okay, smart manufacturing best practices. So that will be the focus of today. Now, I am King Tik, your host and the moderator of the day. Smart Forward is a collaborative initiative to accelerate the journey towards smart manufacturing. And the objective of Smart Forward is to address the manufacturers' concerns and challenges to adopt Industry 4.0. Now, businesses can get Industry 4.0 related articles, case studies, events, solutions from our web portal, which is smartforward.my, smart with a number 4, WRD.my. And also we send out every bi-weekly, we send out an e-newsletter to keep you updated with the latest news and events and the articles of the Industry 4.0. Smart Forward also organized webinar like what we are having today, corporate visits. So we intend to actually organize some visits to let the SMEs to experience what other companies have done in their Industry 4.0 projects. Consultation services to bridge the gap of the SMEs embarking into the smart manufacturing journey. We also did a survey as well in terms of the adoption by the SMEs. Those who wanted to know more about the survey, the results, you all can log on to the smartforward.my. Now, in our second series, last 2 weeks, we have discussed about the road ahead with Industry Forward. Then MPC representative, which is Puan Sally, okay, under the MPC, a government initiative, we've spoken about the government initiative to accelerate manufacturers' adoption in smart manufacturing. So for those who have missed it, okay, for those who have missed it, you can actually go to YouTube. You can actually type Smart Forward. So we have a YouTube channel. We call it as Smart Forward. So you can actually watch the recording of the past 2 sessions in the YouTube as well. Okay. Today, let's talk about starting our smart manufacturing journey. Some expert told me that Industry 4.0 is simply combining the OT and the IT, the operation technology and the information technology. Some other people will tell me that, well, it's something to do with cyber physical smart system that include engineer interaction network or physical computation complex. Oh, there are too many jargons out there. Okay, but for me is that it's just about getting useful data, what is happening in the manufacturing, in our plant, our factory, to make business decision and to incorporate, if possible, incorporate autonomous responses to a predefined scenario, just like car. So I have a Proton X70. So if, let's say, for example, if they sense that it's too near to the other car, what will happen, and so forth. So in your factory, it can do similar function as well. So this is to actually to increase the productivity of your manufacturing production facilities. Okay, and a lot of it, the basic things that we need to have is about getting the right data. Now, from our survey last time, many SMEs are trying to embark into smart manufacturing with trial and error. About 46% of manufacturers not knowing what are the available Industry 4.0 technology, 46% that is relevant to the operation, and 32.9% does not know where to start and what to prioritize. So these are the things that we would try to address in all of our series of the web forum over here. Now, is there any best practices which could guide us to minimize error and speeds for us to speed up the project implementation? We hope that today we will be able to find some, if not all, the answers from Alvin, and of course from the companies that invited DU to share with us their project experience as well. So without further ado, let me briefly invite and introduce our speaker, Alvin. Alvin Ng, over there. Alvin, say hi, Alvin. Hi, Alvin. Now, Alvin is the very young CEO and founder of the Smart B Solutions. He's very much a technology enthusiast. Okay, you go to him, he talk about these bits and bytes and so forth. Sometimes I don't understand what he's talking about, but he has a great wealth of experience in inventory and goods tracking for both manufacturing and warehouse environment. He is an expert who knows both sides of the world. Now, a lot of us, either we know about a lot about manufacturing, or you know about a lot about the financial side. But for him, he has a mechanical engineering degree, as well as a qualification in cost accounting, CIMA. So you know how to operate, okay, a factory, you know the processes, and you know how to manage your finance. That is very, very important, because in SME, a lot of companies know how to produce, but do not know how to control or maximize their investment. But for him, he able to do that. So maybe later on, we will be able to get some tips from him. In his earlier experience, he was with the Rolls-Royce PLC. Rolls-Royce doesn't only do car. It's not only about car. They are very, very good in terms of the engine, even in the airplane engine, if I'm not mistaken. And in Barclays commercial banking as well. So you see, this guy know about engine, know about machine. Then right now know about banking sector as well. Basically, he is an expert of everything, okay, covering areas with the project management and project costing and data mining as well. Now, some participants, okay, always when we organize a web forum and seminar, participants will say that, hey, King Tek, you always invite all these experts. They talk. Some of them, they would just like to just talk theory, sharing theory, and whether it's relevant to us or not, we are not so sure. And that's why that today, and for the coming of the web forum, we will always invite a technology solution provider as well as an SME to come in to share with us their smart manufacturing journey project experience. Okay, today we have bring our Malaysian SME who have started their smart manufacturing journey. Okay, later we have a lot of story to listen to. We welcome Nick Lim and also Miss Chen from the DU Fiber Sdn Bhd. Later on, I will ask Miss Chen to introduce about the company so that we know about their business and operation, and then we'll drill down into the details on how have they actually started their smart manufacturing journey. Now, let's get started with our forum. We're going to let Alvin to share some insights on smart manufacturing best practices. Then what we'll do is that we will have a dialogue together with Nick and Miss Chen and Alvin about the project experience. Okay, and after that, we'll open up for Q&A. So please drop your questions into the Dropbox, and my colleagues will actually compile it, forward to me, and I will actually highlight the questions and to bring up for discussion purposes. Now, Alvin, so what are you going to share with us today? I hope that we will get some insights on very practical. What we want is that the practicality in starting our smart manufacturing journey. So I hope that you can share more with us, and I would hand over the platform or the show to you, Alvin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. King Tek. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Just to mic check, can hear me, right? All good? Okay, great. Okay, so let me just open up my slides. And cool. Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. Today I'm going to share a bit more about my experience, and hopefully some of this will be useful to the audience. The theme is smart manufacturing, and for me, smart is is a very subjective matter, and however, the way I define smart is to be able to use information and data very smartly, and that is the best practice that for me and when I work with my clients. And the idea is to move towards availability, traceability, and optimizability. Optimizability, this word is probably not a true English word, but I will explain more as we go along. So hopefully you will enjoy the session, and do save the questions for Q&A later during the panel discussion. Okay, so very quickly, all right, just to re-emphasize, Mr. King Tek has talked a bit about my background, but Smart B Solution, we really focus on inventory. When I talk about inventory, it's MRP, which is material resource planning. It could be warehouse management, or it could just be a simple inventory. So basically, we track anything that moves, and we try to digitalize it as much as possible. On the side, we also offer a small business ERP solution or a like solution, and we also have some ERP solutions that we offer. Okay, so let's go to today's area. The 3 tips I'm going to share about how to transform your manufacturing into a smart manufacturing. It's not rocket science, but some of these is something that I'm a strong advocate, and I hope it will bring some benefit to you. First one is to go paperless. Okay, so going paperless is probably something that everyone knows about and thinks about. However, I don't, in my personal view, and I hope to go deeper a little bit later, going paperless it's actually a a journey. A lot of times when I work with client and talk more about DU fiber, what we want to do is have a factory that is completely digital. And the first step is to go back to basic, right? What kind of information do you have in your factory that you are now writing on pen and paper? Going digital or going paperless doesn't mean that you're going to throw all that information away. In fact, a lot of the information that you are now writing on pen and paper are actually your gold mine. A lot of the information are not brought to the system fast enough, and hence going digital, it's difficult, but a lot of information there is your gold mine. So what we have done for a lot of our clients, and this is some of the projects we've done with DU Fiber, is really to look at what is important in their process flow. In this example, we looked at a weighing scale, and we try to figure out, okay, what kind of weighings, how can we stop writing on paper and make sure it goes straight to the system as soon as possible. One of the benefits about SmartBee is we are 100% cloud-based system. So what we did was we took a simple module, a touchscreen module, put it near to their machine. Some of the machines are older, some of the machines are newer, but because there's a touchscreen there, we integrate with the weighing scale, and the scales are usually 200 to 300 kilogram. Straight away, as soon as they click the button, pop, the data is in cloud already. And that's what I mean by going paperless. It's not just putting it somewhere on Excel and then not touching it. Going paperless is to make sure that the information can be used as soon as possible. The other way of going paperless is to implement QR codes so that at any point in time, there is no more touching or writing of things. It's all about scanning, and the scanning machines can be a few varieties. So one of the things that we use, apart from the normal barcode scanners, is also to help DU Fiber use mobile phone, because that is something, that is the one device that almost all employees have it. This is a sample of what we did. Bear in mind, they have foreign workers. And what we did was to really make it color-based, so that even though foreign workers don't understand English, they can just pick on the color, pick on the number, and it works. So our goal is to work very, very closely with DU Fiber and make sure that the going paperless process is smooth. And while going paperless is a simple term, there's a lot of effort, creativity, and innovation that is put in place. So this is something that the team needs to understand. Once the data is captured on cloud instantaneously, data and dashboard can be built straight away. So these are just simple examples. They're not from DU Fiber, but these are examples. You have strategic information. So sales would be, for example, your sales team could be using the mobile app to key in sales, or generating invoices, or generating PO. Your costing, your expenses could be keyed in immediately. So this is what I mean by going paperless. You, not just from the manufacturing point of view, but all across your business. Operational information where you have database that is captured from machine. A lot of people would understand implementing scanners or sensors or high-end measuring device. SmartBee, what we do very, very regularly is to keep it very simple, because a lot of SMEs say, wow, if I implement sensors, that will be very expensive. So what we do is we have a POS terminal, as I showed you just now, and people can just key in straight away, and we custom build those dashboards for the clients. Operational data will be useful for mid-tier management, and of course, for technical people and in the manufacturing plant, they will need the technical dashboards. OEE is a very classic example. Of course, we also built different kind of dashboards. So we look at ABC analysis. We have done stock movement analysis. We have done sales analysis. But there's no difference. The first thing that client needs to do is to go paperless. Once they go paperless, we look at how we massage the data, how we analyze, how we slice and dice and put it in a beautiful screen. Of course, this is not ours, but we also have something similar where we put the dashboard on the mobile phone. And this is something DualFiber is already using. They are using a software called ClickFolio. This is just for illustration. These information are not open to public, so I'm just using this as a simple example for many manufacturers. Okay, so that was the first one, going paperless. Okay, so that's the easy one. The second step to it is to make sure we have you have a data manager. And in all my clients, in all my projects, I would tell my clients, you must have a project manager and have a data manager at the same time. And even if the data manager is not hired immediately, at least have the data manager ready by the end of the project implementation, or maybe in the middle. Why? A lot of people underestimate how much data they have. Remember, I said going paperless is step number one, right? So imagine this, you have a lot of information on a piece of paper, and now you've put everything in a system or in a database. Now it's what we call crunch time. You need to be able to data mine, dig, slice, dice, cut, and find the data that have value to you. Hence, managing data takes time. Now, this is a simple example that DualFiber is using. They have production output, production A, production B, again, sensitive information, so we've disguised some of them. The beautiful thing about this data is that it's on real time. That means as soon as Mr. Chong or whoever worker has already keyed in the data on the factory, click of a button, scan, refresh, Nick and Miss Chan can see the data on the dashboard, right? And that's very, very powerful. And this is what I'm trying to share with the public. Going smart, sometimes it's about utilizing your data intelligently and then grow your business. Okay. Number 3, continuous improvement. So this is a concept that it's easy to understand, but requires a lot of discipline. And what does that mean? That means throughout the implementation stage of between SmartBee and DualFiber, there was always continuous discussion on how can we capture data more intelligently? How can we make sure the workers understand how to use the system? How do we ensure that the system is simplified so that the factory workers don't get confused? They will key in data that is of quality, and so on and so forth. And this will be hopefully some of the discussion later, where between us and DualFiber, there were many instances where some data became useless because information were not captured properly. But it was very good because the DualFiber team was always there and working with us very closely, so that every time we implement a new idea, we will be checking that the data makes sense. And once we check the data makes sense, the few things that we'll be doing: number 1, how can we make sure it's easy to read? Number 2, how can we make sure that the data quality is high? That means, how do we know if the data is accurate? So there's a lot of ding dong between the dashboard, going back to the shop floor, checking that what they're punching in makes sense, checking that the stock volume is in line with what we would expect. Again, go back to basics, right? If you're already practicing pen and paper writing, are you actually analyzing your data? If yes, when you move it to a dashboard, is it the same data? Are you expecting the same numbers? Are we missing something? So all this requires work and effort and teamwork, so that the data quality keeps improving. And this is really, really important, that as one of the best practices, it's to have a team ready, a project community ready, of course, including your data manager, whereby you have to be mentally prepared that at any stage in your project, there will be areas that can be further improved. And this is something that DU Fiber has put in a lot of effort. And mind you, putting in the right team is more affordable than buying the system and then not having the system to work. So the vendor and the team needs to work hand in hand. And this is crucial, right? There was multiple discussions on different areas. So imagine this, DU Fiber has different parts of manufacturing, and at every station or every process, there were detailed discussion. There were detailed discussion on how to improve it. And that's the idea. With a few concepts, going paperless, data manager, continuous improvement, we as the vendor will be growing with DU Fiber. And we've been working with DU Fiber for 2 to 3 years now. I'm very proud to see them grow and adding more features along the way. And that's it. There's going to be a lot more discussion later on, but these 3 things will be very, very crucial in my opinion. Okay. Excuse me. So then going to one of the subtitle that I was talking about, what does availability, traceability, and optimizability mean? So when I started this concept of availability, the idea is, do you have available stock? And that was the starting point. I always ask Carson, okay, if you want to implement a system, most likely manufacturing side will be producing finished good. Sales team will want to know if there's enough stock to sell. From having available data, we then move to traceability. What does that mean? That means once you know that you have the available data, you need to be able to figure out, is your process or is the data, in this case, stock quantity, does it make sense from end to end? That means, does it make sense that your stock is X kilogram or X ton? Does it make sense? Is it traceable that you have X ton coming from Y raw material? Does it make sense that your data that the raw material that you buy from your supplier comes from this purchase order, costing you X amount in ringgit, and by the time you get your raw material, your cost per ton is so and so. If all this makes sense, that means your trail of activity or your trail of data has good quality data and they're traceable. I can track from station A to B to C all the way to Z. And once that is traceable, then we start looking at areas of weaknesses. What does that mean? How can I improve efficiency? How can I improve effectiveness of my machine? How can I optimize my output? How can I increase my ROI is essentially what I'm trying to say. These are very big topics, but these are the things that SmartMe try to implement for the client, and so far so good. So in a nutshell, best practices that SmartMe is trying to share: go paperless, get a data manager, and continuous improvement. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you want to know more, of course, you can contact me directly at Elwin at smartme.co, and this is our website, but we will go into more details during the panel discussion. Right. King Tick, back to you.
Yep, thank you very much, Alvin. Now, what we always do is that we will not go to a very detail in terms of the technology, but we just wanted to give a real and the practical concept for everyone, okay, to better understand how can we implement better. Just to recap what I have gotten from from Alvin is that, number one, it's very important for us for Industry 4 journey, we will need to actually go paperless. So that go paperless is not just to make it faster, but very important is that make sure that the information is accurate. Okay, not only accurate, but it's also real time, so that you can make decision fast, easy, and accurate. That's number one. Number two, a lot of the companies will say that, well, in order to get the data right now, you need to have a barcode and so forth. You need to scan, you need to buy some devices. And just now, Alvin just mentioned that, hey, right now you can even use your mobile phone as a scanner. So you might be able to reduce some cost over that side. So for us is that SME, we always need to be very practical in terms of our implementation. It's not just about spending money, but it's about investing your Industry 4 investment into the right area. So that's very important over there. And using the mobile phone in terms of the dashboard, having the color mix, having the numbers and the pictures,